let's do something. If you guys do not want to be spoiled for what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks of NXT, turn off this video now. Get off this live stream. Get off this podcast. We're going to talk NXT spoilers. We are going to go over everything that went down last night in Full Sail University and everything they didn't also go down at Full Sail University. First off, I do want to state there were some names missing from the show. Obviously, we do know what's going on with Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane is dealing with an illness, a disease, you may say. Hand, foot, mouth. Very contagious. Can't be around other people right now. So she obviously was not at the tapings. Also, absent were War Raiders and the Velveteen Dream. I think there were a few others missing that didn't show up, but they weren't as big names. So, going forward with the spoilers, which you can find on our website at PWUnlimited.net. These spoilers do come from Mr. Jacob Cohen on Twitter, who goes to all the NXT TV tapings. First off, we got a lot of images before the show even started of a steel cage parts being at ringside, over by the announce table. We then learned that tonight, EC3 would be taking on Bobby Fish, and Ricochet will be defending the North American Championship against a surprise opponent. In a dark match, Luke Menzies defeated Mansoor Al-Shaheel. You may remember Mansoor from the Greatest Royal Rumble. He was in that segment with the Daivari brothers. So we did get the debut of Punishment Martinez. And yes, they did use the name Punishment Martinez. When they first announced him as starting at the Performance Center, they announced him with his real name, Luis Martinez. So it's cool to see that he's got the Punishment name. He took on Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle did win. After the match, as Matt Riddle was leaving the ring, Cassius Ohno would come out and hit Matt Riddle with a knockout shot, elbow to the face, knocking him out. We then had the Forgotten Sons. They defeated Mendoza and Carrillo. Shayna Baszler would take on Dakota Kai. The match never had an end. I guess you could say Kai won by disqualification when the other horsewomen beat her down. Io Shirai would come out to make the save. And then Io Shirai would come out to make the save. And she would basically fight off all three women on her own. Tommaso Ciampa would come out. He said at TakeOver, TakeOver's in the books, and he's still the MVP of NXT. He said after all he's done, he is disappointed that the crowd does not believe in him. He said his title reign will go down as the greatest in NXT history. This would then prompt Aleister Black to come out. He said he beat Gargano at TakeOver. Now he wants to challenge for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Phoenix. Now, we never got a confirmation on that match because of what happened in the main event segment of the tapings. This would prompt Gargano to come out. He said that Black had him, but he didn't finish him. He said he's getting ahead of himself, Black is, wanting a title match. He said Gargano says that it's not over between him and Ciampa. And he wants Johnny Badass to now come out, not Johnny Wrestling. Ciampa says that at War Games, they should have had a steel structure as well. And there is a steel structure here tonight. So we will get a steel cage match between Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black. Looking at the chat, you guys are asking if Ono is a heel now. I believe so. Bobby Fish would take on EC3. Before the match, Adam Cole promised all 4 members of Undisputed Era will be dripping in gold come 2019. EC3 would be victorious over Bobby Fish. Undisputed Era would come into the ring and beat down EC3 before Heavy Machinery would come down and make the save. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch would defeat the Mighty. Mia Yim would defeat Reina Gonzalez. We then get confirmation that later on in the tapings, Cassius Ohno would be taking on Matt Riddle. A graphic then aired stating that up next, The NXT North American Championship will be on the line, but against who? And out would come none other than one half of the Fashion Police, Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze. From people that were there live said this match was pretty good, and in the end, Ricochet did successfully defend the NXT North American Championship against Breeze. We will then go and get the NXT television debut of Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir as they took on and lost to Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. Very shocked they lost in their debut. It was also Io Shirai's debut match as well. Dominik Dijakovic, the former Donovan Dijak, defeated Aaron Mackey. Heavy Machinery defeated two jobbers. Undisputed Era watched from the entranceway. Matt Riddle would go on to defeat Cassius Ohno. After the match, Matt Riddle tried to give Ohno a fist bump. Ohno would not give the fist bump back. He then kind of looked like he was going to walk off. Then he offered a fist bump to Matt Riddle, and when Riddle went to accept the fist bump, he beat down Riddle. Beat the crap out of him, apparently. We then would get a fatal four-way match where the winner would challenge Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver Phoenix for the NXT Women's Championship. It was Io Shirai, Mia Yim, Bianca Belair, and Lacey Evans. In the end, Bianca Belair was victorious. TJ Fritz says it's Shafir, not Schaefer. My bad. I had a guy in high school with the same name. He said it's Schaefer. So it's just, it's kind of like the Xavier Woods thing. I've got family that his name's Xavier. He spells it O-R, but Xavier Woods is E-R, so I spell it wrong. It's all good. But Bianca Belair will be getting a title shot at TakeOver against Shayna Baszler. Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons defeated Mitch Taverna. The Undisputed Era would defend the NXT Tag Team titles against Heavy Machinery successfully. We then look at the Steel Cage match. Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. Apparently they brawled on the outside for a minute, and then the match finally began in the ring. I'm hearing that this was a really, really good match. They fought on top of the cage, outside the cage, before the match, like I said, inside the cage. And eventually, Ciampa would come down. Ciampa would get inside the cage. And I don't know. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if this is a DIY reunion, like some are trying to say, or if it's just two guys that hate Aleister Black wanted to kick the crap out of him. But they did do their quote-unquote DIY tag team finish to Aleister Black. Gargano would win, leaving the cage first. Looks like they are on the same page, like I said. But who knows if they're actually a tag team. Also, one other name, excuse me, I forgot to mention was not present, was Keith Lee. So we didn't get no Kairi Sane, of course, she's sick. No Keith Lee. No Velveteen Dream. No Lars Sullivan, because he's coming up to the main roster. I assume maybe they do like a blow-off match or something. And no Nikki Cross. Who knows what they're doing with Nikki Cross? That's the big mind boggle. But those were these spoilers from last night, the 28th of November NXT TV tapings.